Hello and welcome our viewers to a new episode of your show Flexwell. This is me, Abdulatif Lanizi. I'm your presenter and I have with me one of the best coaches here in Kuwait, Coach Jose. Thank you, Coach, and good morning.
Good morning, Abdulatif. Always a pleasure to be with you and TV2 as always.
Thank you. And our coach going to give us the exercise that we want and need to help us to reach our goal. And now, without any further ado, let's get started. Welcome back, our viewers. So now we will start our first exercise, and of course we have with us our coach, and he's going to give us everything that we need to know. Coach, what do we have for today?
For today, again, we're gonna try to maintain it simple as possible in a way that everyone at home can use these as a tool to improve themselves.
Yeah, so we're not focusing at only one type of people that goes to the gym, or maybe one type of people who goes for running or has a high level of athletes. We are focusing at everyone and every types of exercise. So what's the first exercise for today, or what's the first stretches?
Now, for today, we're gonna target mainly the upper body. Of course, we're gonna use the whole body, but mainly targeting the upper body. We will put some simple stretches that will serve as a warm-up, and then we will go for a more specific approach that will help to develop muscle mass.
Wonderful. We have the chest stretches, right?
Yes.
And shoulder stretches.
For today, we're gonna target mainly shoulders and chest.
Yes. And of course, for how many sets and repeats we're going to do it?
We're gonna play with 4 sets for the main exercise, and for the movement of mobility, we're gonna use 20 movements.
Wonderful. So, and after finish these stretches, we have the main exercises. So until then, stay tuned.
Okay guys, for today, as we already talked about it, we're gonna divide this into parts. First, it will be the warm-up / mobility. We're gonna use a dynamic stretch for this case. Imagine that this is a door at your place, or a post if you have, or even a tree. You can reach for it, and we're gonna stretch in a dynamic way. That means with movement. In different angles. That way you approach different angles in the chest and shoulders. So imagine that you are sideways to your pole or door. You're going to be putting the foot facing forward. You're going to place the hand, mainly the nearest to the wrist, on your door or post or tree, and you're going to step forward and you're gonna drive your shoulder forward. So in that way, you can do some movement, and little by little, you're gonna increase the range of motion. That will be level 1. You can step it up then all of a sudden to a higher position, and you can do the same movement. Remember, no need to be in a hurry, don't need to run and do the movement, don't fill in the tempo. Just do an easy pace for the full range of motion. And then little by little, you're gonna increase that range of motion and the angle that you are working with. So you can even reach a higher position, and throwing the shoulder forward, you're gonna have different feelings in the shoulder throughout these angles. So basically, that's what we talked about in the introduction. That we talked about 20 reps doesn't mean that it's 20 reps doing at the same angle. You can split it by 5, 5, 5. It will be 4 times. Just use the same amount on the other side.
So this is the end for our first exercise. All the thanks for our coach for giving us these exercises. And now we are warmed up and ready. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, because we will be back with the main exercise. Welcome back, our viewers. So now we are at the main exercise, or let's say the heavy one. And of course, Coach Jose, he's going to give us two specific or special exercises. So Coach, what do we have for today for the first main exercise?
For the first main exercise, we're gonna pick it up a simple movement like push-ups, and we're gonna adapt it to the level of everyone. We're gonna do progressions and regressions in the way that fits everyone needs and everyone requirements.
Wonderful. So everyone, even if you have a weak chest muscle, you can do these push-ups because you're going to give us, like, let's say a beginner level and then intermediate and then professional level, let's say.
Yeah, mainly that's the main idea.
Wonderful. And for the push-ups, for how many sets and repeats that you are going to do it?
We're gonna target 4 sets, 8 reps scenario.
Good and wonderful. So after finishing from the push-ups, which is the most wonderful exercise that I love to do every once in a while, especially when I wake up in the morning, what do we have after push-ups for the chest?
Okay, my idea for today, it's helping to regain the position of the joint and regain the muscle tissue to the normal standard to avoid above level atrophy of the chest that will bring the shoulder forward. We will targeting more something that will open the chest and will put you in a better upper body position.
Wonderful. It's like a physiotherapy, an exercise that will help a lot of people when they have a problem of being the shoulder being a little bit in forward, right?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
we can see exercise as a form of physiotherapy, definitely.
Wonderful. After finishing these exercises, for you, Coach, you're going to give us and going to show us exactly how we do it, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's our idea for today.
Wonderful. So stay tuned for the coach when he do these exercises for us.
Okay guys, we are back, this time with the push-up. I'm gonna try to drive as smooth as possible through all the levels of push-ups that you can perform at your place. So basically, we have a mat. You don't need to have a mat, but probably if you are going for the easiest level, it will be convenient for you to put something under your knees, just not to be in contact with a hard floor. So from this point, you're gonna place your knees. Remember, first of all, keep your back flat as possible. Things to avoid, to be in this position. In this position, you are already compromised with the shoulder. So you're gonna bring the hands close to you. That way it will be an easier, friendly scenario. So drop your shoulders, and from this point, you're gonna flex your elbows and approach yourselves to the floor as much as possible, but in a way that you are sure that you're gonna be able to execute the movement in the way back. So you start to feel more comfortable. Again, you're gonna leave your knees on the floor. This time you're gonna place the hands a little bit further. So you're gonna drive yourself in a way that your hip will be lower, but aligned with the upper body. You're gonna try to perform the same scenario. Your head will be aligned with the back. Keep your chest up. Avoid putting the shoulders forward. Just keep your shoulder blades together. Driving yourselves down and up. In a more interesting and extreme scenario, you're gonna place your feet a little bit wider. You're gonna be aligned, shoulders down. You're gonna bring yourself down, and smoothly, you're gonna raise yourself. So, that is the whole range of motion that you can perform. One detail that some of you are asking, how wide should I put my hands? The hands, first of all, should be in a comfortable position for you that you are starting. Some of you will be more of a neighborhood of people that normally do this kind of movement, but again, shoulders down, hands aligned with the shoulders. If you execute the push-up like this, with the hands aligned with the shoulders, you're going to be targeting more the tricep, the back part of your arm. Now, if you put a little bit wider, you're going to start to use more the chest for the movement. So this way, you're going to keep your elbows to the outside and drive the movement. Again, the position of the hands. Some people will feel more comfortable with the fingers pointing forward. It ain't wrong. If you feel comfortable with that, go for it. If you feel more comfortable with the fingers pointing out, please do. Okay, for today, that's a wrap. We cover all the bases, but again, if you have some specific questions that you want to ask, please reach for us, and we're going to be trying to do it as quick as possible.
Mushrooms are rich in B vitamin, niacin, riboflavin, and pantothenic acids, which each have a unique role to play in your body, including making red blood cells, improving digestion, and maintaining healthy skin. Due to numerous bioactive compounds, consuming mushrooms might also support cognition, heart health, and disease prevention. Mushrooms are also the only non-animal food product with bioavailable vitamin D.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, as we continue our interview with Dr. Wa, and where we continue, of course, in the situation of the back pain. Welcome back, Doctor.
Hi again.
Doctor, as we talked about before about the back pain, you told us that there are many ways that causes the same problem, which is the back pain, where a patient comes to you and say, Doctor, I have a back pain, I need to treat it. You say, hold on, there are many ways, many causes for the back pain. So what's more, tell us more about the causes that cause the back pain.
Yes, actually there are multiple reasons why your back is being hurt. Let's look at the pain as a sign of or a symptom of a problem. It's not the problem itself, it's only a sign. It's like when you smell a smoke, okay? A smoke could be a sign of a problem. So what's the problem? Is it something that someone started fire? Is it something from the engine? Is it something from the computer? Is it something from electricity? So there is no one way of treating the cause unless you know what it is. So the pain is only a symptom of a problem. So there are multiple of problems that can cause low back pain. And we said the last time that a lot of people now, because they are sitting for long period of time, they start to change the physiology of their lumbar spine. And here we are talking only about the normal, let's say the normal lifestyle that's causing the pain. We are not talking about the injury, we are not talking about tumors, we are not talking about some things related to surgeries. We are talking about purely lifestyle
that we have here.
Day-to-day things where people are feeling pain just commonly. So what's taking place when we sit for a long time in a bad posture? What's taking place and what are the possible injuries? We talked the last time about the normal curvature of the back, and when people tend to sit, like for example right now I'm sitting and I'm not leaning to the back, I'm sitting in the upright position trying to maintain the normal curvature of my back, this is the healthiest way of sitting. That's one way.
So it's way like I have to select this.
A lot of people, when they sit,
Yeah.
they sit with posterior pelvic tilt. Once they sit with the curvature being on the other extreme rather than being in the normal curvature, so they will start loosening up the normal physiology, which is starting with the ligaments. They are now no longer using their muscles to support their back. Now they are hanging on the ligaments. So the muscles, we always say, use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. If you are not using your muscles, then you will lose the muscle strength. So now the muscles are not supporting the back. That's why we see a lot of people, when they try to sit in the upright posture, they sit for a minute or two and then they go back, because they don't have the proper strength of the lower back that supports them to sit for longer period. So that's one thing. Once they are not able to sit in the proper posture, then they will be hanging on the ligaments. The ligaments, as I say, is the second defense. The first defense is your muscle. The second defense is your ligaments.
Yeah.
Once you reach the ligaments, this means that this is the last resort. Then once the ligaments are being overstretched, then they no longer can support the stability of the lower back. Then we will have, look at this. Here we have the disc, and these are the two vertebrae. Behind the disc, we have the nerve that supplies the legs and the internal organs as well. Once the person is sitting without the proper support, without the stability of the lower back, then the nerve will be impinged. So sometimes it will be impinged by the vertebra, two bones, and they have in between the nerve, then they will squeeze the nerve. Sometimes people will have pain from the back radiating all the way to their legs. So this is one way of, this is one kind of pain that people might have. This is one cause of the pain, the multiple causes of pain that we are talking about. Another pain that people might have is the bulging of the disc. The bulging of the disc is, once you have the problem with the instability, there will be a reversed pressure on the disc, so it will push the disc backward, and we see that bulging at the back.
Yes.
So that bulge will compress the nerve, so it will squeeze the nerve, and then it will radiate to the lower leg or sometimes the internal organs. That's why sometimes people have problems with the numbness. Sometimes they have radiating pain. Sometimes they have tingling sensations, and sometimes they feel weakness of their lower limb, and they cannot really sit to stand or balance as they walk. So these are all symptoms because of this problem. And once you don't respond to the alarming screaming of your body, then there will be degeneration that might take place in the disc, and then these two vertebrae will compress the disc further, and then there will be degeneration in the bones. So these are some of the things that we will see with people who complain of low back pain. We will ask them, how long you had the pain? Is it continuous or intermittent? Is it centralized around your back, or is it going to the buttock area, or is it radiating on your thighs or to your legs? Is it only numbness or pain? Is it coming anteriorly to the thigh or only posteriorly or to the side? Because each pain represents a different nerve that supplies this area. So if we don't have an MRI to see and diagnose the patient, we will be asking the patient about what type of pain. And that's why it's very important for people who are viewing us right now is to go to their doctor or their physiotherapist knowing what kind of pain they have, when they have it, and also where is the pain. A lot of times I say to the patient, where is your pain? I don't know, but I can't
A lot
really
of
remember.
areas.
It comes down my leg, or sometimes it hurts me at the back. Is it the back as well as your thigh, or only the back is central? I cannot really figure out. If they don't know, then it will be hard to diagnose. So sometimes we have to send them to take an MRI. An MRI will cost 150 KD.
And sometimes it doesn't show it.
We don't want them to lose
Yeah.
money for something like that. If they came with the proper information, they will help us to diagnose faster. And then we will be able to talk about the different kind of treatment. So as you can see, talking about low back pain, it's not just about an injury and what's the treatment. A lot of people, they ask, what's the treatment? First of all, let's talk about what's your problem. And now people who are viewing us, we are being watched by hundreds of thousands of people. And those people, probably you have 10% of them, they have low back pain because of the ligament problem, soft tissue problem. There are some people who might have low back pain as a result of degeneration at a later stage. Some people have compression over a nerve. So now, while we are talking about that, we are helping all our viewers to view themselves within what we are talking about, so that later on when we want to talk about the treatment, we will go about step by step how they can treat themselves, but how they can help themselves first by bringing the data that is necessary for the physiotherapist or their doctor to be able to diagnose them properly. The issue is all about diagnosis.
Where's the problem?
This is the main issue.
Yes.
It's not about the treatment, take this medication, do that exercise. No, I would like to hit the nail on the head. If someone comes to me and I have pain and I don't know what is the cause of that pain, I will not able to treat that person by general intervention. I have to be very specific, because again, effectiveness of the treatment as well as the efficiency not only will reduce the suffering of the patient, but also will decrease the cost on the healthcare system.
Yes. So also, doctor, for a lot of time that we are seeing, we have actually something is really spreading here in Kuwait for a long time and still, which is the duania. Unfortunately, a lot of people sit on the grounds. My father, my uncles, all of them, they are complaining of the back pain that they have. Is it okay that they sit on the ground? Does it have one of the reasons that it caused this pain? Because as we heard, that I have to sit on the chair and I have to sit probably standing a little bit, putting my back in front a little bit, keeping maintaining the curve where you mentioned. If I go and sit on the ground, can I have, or can I sit in a proper same way, like let's say for 1 hour straight?
A lot of people have the misunderstanding about sitting on the floor, and they think that sitting on the floor is not healthy. And they think that.
Yeah.
Okay, and don't sit on the floor. This is something like old-fashioned. You have to sit on the sofas and so forth. In fact, sitting on the floor is something healthy, and we need to be able to sit on the floor, because remember, we sit on the floor even in the prayer 5 times a day.
Exactly.
And if it's not healthy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask us to sit on the floor. So sitting on the floor is a normal daily function. It's not something that is unhealthy. The problem with people is how they sit and what's taking place while they are sitting. So probably this is something that we'd like to get into details. For the sake of time, I would like to simply say sitting on the floor is something healthy, and we'd like to be able to sit on the floor. But why people have pain when they sit on the floor and how they can prevent that pain, this is probably something for next time.
Exactly. We're going to ask you about it, inshallah, at the next time. But in regards of this episode, thank you, doctor, for all the information that you gave us. It was really fun. I had my fun. I had the information that all I needed. And also for you, our viewers, hope you loved this episode that we had and hope you enjoy it. We will see you for the next time, and goodbye.